There's no better way of starting your morning quite like a nice bowl of spaghetti and an extremely goofy story about a Miami teacher showing a fourth grade class a horror movie about Winnie the Pooh basically being a cannibal. It's an extremely weird story I can't wait to dive into. So, apparently he showed them this movie by accident. I don't know how you make that kind of mistake considering the movie's title is Blood and Honey. I don't know what he thought that meant. Like, maybe, blood of Christ. Maybe he thought it was very religious. I have no clue. But even when he played the film and the kids were asking him to turn it off, he refused to. So it doesn't really sound like an accident to me. This sounds like some kind of weird, nefarious prank. Like, I don't know if this is an Impractical Jokers situation where he had someone in his ear telling him that he had to play the entire movie to the classroom. I have no clue. But this is a movie I actually made an entire video on because of how shitty it is. So I can promise you, even if this wasn't played for a fourth grade class, anyone this movie is played for will be begging you to turn it off. I was almost begging the movie theater to turn it off when I was in there watching it. It is trash.
Before students from the Academy of Innovative Education were let out of class, this mother let out her frustration.
I feel completely abandoned by the school and
Michelle Diaz reached out to CBS News Miami. She said her fourth grader twins were distraught because of a movie their math teacher played for students on Monday, October 2nd.
I don't know what math lesson this was supposed to teach. Winnie the Pooh plus blood and gore equals scared children. Even if he didn't play the horror movie, I feel like why would you even play Winnie the Pooh for a math class? What's that going to really do? Just seems like he didn't feel like teaching that day and he just happened to have Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey on a DVD in his backpack and he was like, alright, we'll let it rip.
20 to 30 minutes to a movie called Winnie the Pooh, Honey and Blood.
We need to go.
This is the trailer of the film. It's rated NR, meaning not rated. The premise? Two bloodthirsty murderers, one of them wearing Winnie the Pooh mask, terrorize a group of young university women.
Now I've got to call into question the journalistic integrity here, because that's not what the movie's about. It's not two men wearing masks, it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. It's supposed to actually be them, so they got the plot synopsis a bit wrong here. But that's all water under the bridge, that's no big deal here. I love bad movies. I gobble that shit up more than Winnie the Pooh gobbles up honey. But this one was absolutely horrendous. And the kids got 20 to 30 minutes of it, according to the parent there. Which means they got quite a bit of gore and titties. So one of the first scenes, well, it's not one of the first scenes, but an earlier scene in the film, Winnie the Pooh is hunting down a woman. And after he catches her, he rips her shirt off and her titties start flopping around like they just got hit by NVIDIA jiggle physics. And he goes, "Ooga!" He doesn't make that noise, but he stares at him really wide-eyed because he's looking at breasts, and then he throws her in a wood chipper. All of that's very early in the film, meaning that fourth grade classroom saw all of that in their fucking math class.
He didn't stop the movie, even though there were kids that were like, hey, just stop the movie, we don't want to watch this and whatever.
How was that movie picked?
So he said that the children picked it. It's not them to decide what they want to watch. It's up to the professor to look at the content.
Yeah, to me that seems like a load of fish paste. I'm calling dirty barnacles on that. I don't think the kids chose Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, but let's assume, suspend disbelief for a second, that they did. Why would it even be an option here? And when they were asking him to turn it off, why wouldn't you just turn it off? It doesn't seem like this was accidental. It doesn't seem like, oh, you made your bed, time to lie in it. You wanted Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey? You're getting Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, you little bastards. You fucking rapscallions. Just should have been able to instantly recognize that this isn't the type of film that should be playing for a fourth grade classroom. I remember that there was celebration days in middle school where you'd have a pizza party and a movie. This would be the worst pizza party ever. I'm just chowing down on a triple cheese pizza and I'm watching Piglet bisect a woman with a battle axe and I'm begging the teacher to please turn it off, but they're just doing this to me. Nope. What the fuck? You're gonna sit there and watch it. It's part of the curriculum. This is math in action in the real world. It's come on, man. Just turn the fucking film off. They clearly didn't know what they were getting into when they allegedly chose this movie.
Oh, I want a different professor for them.
So you want him out?
Yes.
Did you address that to the school?
Yes.
And what did they say?
That they were going to handle it internally like they always do, that they're very careful.
I can understand not trusting this professor going forward. This is a really weird thing to do. It's not like an honest mistake, because the movie pretty much immediately makes it clear that it's not for kids. It's pretty aggressive. So, like, not turning it off after that and then refusing to turn it off even when the students are telling you to, that is some diabolical behavior. Like, fucking peeling their eyes open to make sure they're watching Winnie the Pooh and Piglet murder people and eat them and whatever. That is weird. I don't know what kind of disciplinary action the school board's going to take. Maybe refusing his access to DVD players or a VHS player or something. I have no idea. But I definitely get the parents not wanting their students to be in this person's class anymore. I saw this tweet kind of pop off in response to this story, and I just gotta share it with you because it gave me a hearty giggle. Mr. Smith sat at the head of the dim classroom, a bead of sweat running down his temple. "Please stop," the children wailed. "Emma passed out. We need to take her to the nurse." "We can't stop," he thought. "I can't stop. It's only a mistake if you admit it. We have to keep going. And besides," he pressed the volume up on the remote, drowning out the children's pleas as Piglet's chainsaw tore through a young woman's neck like wet tissue paper. "Innocence ends. We all have to learn sometime. He was a teacher, and the children were there to learn." And the more I pondered this deep, profound narrative, the more I started to recognize that this may very well explain why he refused to turn it off. There's something that all human beings are innately born with, which is what I call the too far gone threshold, so fuck it. It's where you're too deep into something to admit that you've either made a mistake or too deep into something to back out now, so you have to see it through. We have all been there, where you just have to commit to something because you've already embarked on this journey for too long now. So I think in this case what may have happened is he starts the movie up, truly innocent, not realizing that this is an inappropriate film for kids, but then it becomes quickly clear after the first murder, and maybe even after the first set of titties, that, you know, this is a problem. But he can't turn it off because then he admits a huge fault on his end, so maybe he just sat there like, shit, we've come this far. I can definitely think of a way of spinning this in like an educational manner. Okay, so perhaps the honkers, the two honkers, are representative of algebraic expression, the FOIL method, first, outer, inner, last, okay, yes. And Winnie and Piglet on a murdering rampage is a lot like slope-intercept form. Like, I actually do think there is real merit to this theory that perhaps he was just too deep in it and he thought it'd be worse if he just turned it off and admitted that he fucked up. So he just sat there trying his best, sweating profusely, to think of a reason why this film was playing for fourth graders. And ultimately, he couldn't come up with anything. The head of the school came forward with a statement as well, saying that they're also investigating and taking disciplinary measures here. I don't think they're letting the professor go, at least not from what I've seen about the story. It looks like they're looking at alternative methods, such as, like, don't ever play another movie in class ever again. But yeah, I just had to share this story with you all. I saw it first thing this morning, and man, what a fucking wacky one it was. That's about it. So yeah.